Good afternoon, farmers around the country. My name is Geoffrey Kamufumo. I'm currently doing my studies at Chaminuka Vocational Training Center, where I'm doing agriculture, that is National Certificate in Agriculture, specializing in tobacco production. So here with me, I'm going to explain about the processes after transplanting, after planting and making the ridges in this field. So the process that I'm going to explain is called the reaping process. So I'm starting from the reaping process until I reach the curing process. So first of all, before I explain anything about reaping, let me first tell a farmer that is around Zimbabwe that first thing that has to be noted, which is a specialty, is that tobacco has to be reaped in the morning, early morning, before sunrise. Why do we have to reap tobacco before sunrise? Tobacco has sugars and starch. So in the morning, the tobacco will be having the high levels of sugars and also the low levels of starch. So having to identify and to reap tobacco at these levels, we are trying to minimize the thickness of the leaves so that the leaf doesn't deteriorate. Okay, let me come to reaping. As we reap, this is what we call reaping. We are reaping 2 leaves per plant. After reaping 2 leaves per plant, one clip has to have 72 leaves to make one clip. So having 72 leaves, there are special things that we have to be noting when we are reaping. These things are, 1, the leaf has to be easier to cut off from the stem. Okay, before I explain about the cutting, let me explain what reaping is all about. Reaping is all about cutting the lower leaves of the stem so that we cut off the leaf and distract the leaf from also planting. This distraction of the leaf from the stem helps the leaf to have a better texture and better quality of the leaf. Okay, let me go to the reaping process. Okay, after reaping, the leaf 1 has to be easier to cut off. The leaf has to be 90 degrees from the stem. The leaf also turns the color into a tangy yellow. That shows that it is reaped. For example, we are talking of a leaf which has reached a level like this. This is now turned into a tangy yellow, which is the thing that show us that now the leaf is ripe. Okay, after reaping process, we are taking these leaves with the clips under a dry area and under a shady area. We put them into the transportation that we'll be using. In that transportation that you'll be using, 1, we should make sure there is shade, there is not too much sunlight, there is cool temperatures for tobacco not to have any challenges in it, for it to be a quality and a good leaf. After that, we go to the process of curing. Now we are now talking of the process where we'll be going to the barns. Special things that have to be noted when taking to the barns is that there are 2 processes which are major in the curing process. There is the drying and the coloring. In the coloring, there is color fixing, there is coloring of the tobacco. In the drying, we have lamina drying and we have the mid-rib drying. When we're talking about the lamina drying, the lamina is the leaf. Is the leaf. It has to dry here from a range of 30 degrees to 35 degrees. Then when we are talking about the mid-rib is now the back of the leaf. The back of the leaf should dry at temperatures which are around 70 degrees so that the leaf can become dry and have the quality that we need as farmers. So much will be explained when I'm at the barns about the temperatures, the hygrometers that we are going to use, the barns that we have. For example, I'm going to talk about the rocket barns, the conventional barns, which are going to use at the barns. So special things that have to be noted by a farmer is that, first of all, before you reap your tobacco, you have to know the quantity of the barns. You have to know what you're supposed to put in the barns so that we don't pick leaves and we don't carry clips that we are not going to use in the barns, so that it becomes excessive in the barns, thereby leading our tobacco not drying excessively. I thank you.